It's 97 on the box, H-Town's number one hip hop and R&B station. Que pasa, gente? It's your homegirl, Jessica Jeans. It is the late night hustle, supporting independent, underground, Latino hip hop and local hip hop from right here in H-Town. And look, we have trying to be making this interview happen for a minute now, and in the building, doing great things all across the country right now. My girl Anna May's in the building. You are working, girl. I mean, I have seen your progress, and you know, for a very long time, you've been out here working. And sometimes in different cities, I've seen you in different states, and I'm like, well, where is she from originally? Right. But one of the first questions I have is your name, Anna May. So tell us about that, and why is it spelled this way? And tell us about that. Why'd you name yourself Anna May?
So Anna comes from my middle name, Giovanna. And with Mays, I wanted the second name to start with the letter M because my real name is Marisol. Okay. And so I was looking through the dictionary and I came across the word maze, and it just resonated with me so much because when you think about it, a lot of us are lost in our own mazes. And we're all trying to find a way out, happiness, love, just the balance of all these things. So I was like, that's it. That's what I'm naming myself. Like, we're going with it.
Nice, so. Nice. Okay, so I see that now, Anna Mays. All right, so make sure that y'all are following Miss Anna Mays. But look, let's dive into it. Let's get into your music. You've been working, like I said, in many areas of the country. You've traveled, you moved, you've done a lot of different features and collabs. And what I like about you is that you have this different style about you, which switches up, right? Because you can kind of go lane to lane, and you're in a lot of different pockets. Because not only are you a great MC, but you also have a great singing voice.
Thank you.
You look like a model. You can, you know, you model all types of clothing styles, and you know, you just have the entire package. You have a great personality. So tell us about your musical journey and when you knew that this was for you.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, ever since I was a kid, I've always been into writing. You know, I started off doing poems, and eventually that turned into songs. You know, for me, TLC was like a big inspiration, you know, because when you listen to their sound, they have that mixture of hip hop, pop, R&B, funk. And, you know, just growing up, just listening to that, and of course listening to the greats like Whitney Houston, Michael Jackson, Biggie, Pac, and all these different artists, you know, I just kind of like absorb all of that energy, and it just comes out that way, you know, with the music that I do. You know, I do a little bit of rap, and you know, I also do melodic rap, more singing and stuff. And I do thank my producer Mark Henry for encouraging me to, you know, experiment with my voice a little bit more when it came to that. You know, but the best way I could put it now is like, I'm a saddie and I'm a baddie. So we gonna mix it all.
Now, you spent a lot of time here in Houston, but where are you originally from, and do you call Houston your second home? Because it seems like I see you here all the time.
Yes. So born and raised in DC, Columbia Heights is where I'm from. But Houston has always been calling me for years. You know, I first started coming out here years ago when I first started as an artist, and I went by a different name. I used to go by A.O. Smiley.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, and so that was around the time where I would, you know, I was in Houston for the very first time, and I've always loved it. You know, there's just a lot of love here. The scene is beautiful, the culture, everything. I'm always saying the tacos are amazing. But, you know, and it's just crazy that years later, you know, even after rebranding, Houston has always been a place that has always shown me so much love. And I was like, you know what, I need to go back and just see what happens. And it was the best decision I've ever made, to be honest.
Oh man. And you know, because you know, when we see talent and we embrace you know, our people, you know, we want to make sure that we support, and that's what I love about being in H-Town too, because I feel like even with the Late Night Hustle, even with Hustle Town Network, this was like the only place I think it could happen, just because there is just such an amount of talent here when it comes to Latinos and Mexicanos that are out there uniting and working and got incredible talent. And speaking of some of those artists, you know, you've worked and tapped in with a lot of us out here. So name some of the people that you've worked with and some that stand out.
Yeah. So ever since like being out here, I worked with Crystal Poppin and Cap G. Those are like the main artists that I worked in. To me, those were like really big accomplishments, you know, because I remember seeing Crystal. I met her about 2 years ago because we were both booked on the same festival, Centro Popular. But before that, I was just a fan because she was blowing up everywhere. She was on Loom when Loom was a thing. And so to meet her and just see that she's like a very down-to-earth woman, You know, she's very like sister vibes.
Yes.
And I love that about her. So to be able to work with her was just an amazing experience. We even, you know, we made the song Where the Bag At. We actually have a whole EP that's just like locked away for the moment right now.
That's one of my favorite songs.
Yes,
I
Where
love
the Bag
it.
At.
I even saw you guys that did kind of like a video shoot, or y'all did something out in Times Square.
Yes, so we actually I created a Make It Count tour over to the east side, the DMV. And so we hit DC, Maryland, Virginia. We had a couple of shows, some club bookings, and then we hit New York, because I know a couple people in New York too.
Yeah.
And we were in Times Square, and we were like, should we just do it? And we were like, let's just do it. And we just randomly just like, yo, what's up? I go by the name of Anna on Crystal Poppin', and we just started performing, and people were showing us mad love.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how were you guys received out in the DMV area? You know, a couple of Latinas out there. How were you received out there?
Oh yeah, the DMV loved us. I mean, I'm from there, so they already know who I am, and they loved, you know, the fact that I brought her out there, and I was very happy to see how well they received her. Yes. You know, they showed her a lot of love, and I love that. That's what it's about at the end of the day, you know. Like, I love where I'm from, and I love coming out here and just to be able to kind of bridge that gap, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was great.
So you've done many projects. I mean, you've been working. What's the earliest that we could say you started putting out music?
Putting out music? I want to say it was around 2013, maybe?
Okay.
Like...
So it's a lot that people got to catch up on when it comes to anime.
It's a lot. Yes. I have 9 lives. It feels like sometimes.
I was going to say, because, you know, I remember Tex putting me on to you and saying, hey, look, you know, but I think she changed her name, but, I mean, she used to be here, but we've been kind of like, you know, watching a lot of what you've been doing over the years, and every time, like you said, you have 9 lives, every time I'd hear something, it was different, but it was still fire. I was like, you know, this girl has so many facets about her. She writes, she's making so many hits, and you do have, like you said, mentioned the song with Crystal Poppin'. Love that one. You have one that's also with Cap G, which is a whole nice little vibe to that one too. It's great to see Cap G kind of get in that pocket with you too.
Oh, so, yes.
Yeah, absolutely. That was really great. What's the name of that song again?
It's called Up For It.
Up For It.
Yeah.
Yeah, y'all definitely got to check that one out. But you do have new projects that are coming out. Stuff that you already kind of put out and you're already ready to release, right?
Oh, yes.
So what do you got coming up?
So right now I have released this song called Wish You Really Would. It's a single. It's just me on it, you know, just getting y'all ready for what's to come. And then I do have a couple of more singles dropping later this year. And really just getting ready for that top of the year. I recently was in the studio with Frankie J. And this was a song that I've been working on for months now. Like, we were talking about it since like April, May. And I'm like, I gotta get him on it. I gotta get him on it. Because we had flipped the Obsession song.
Okay.
And I was like, I gotta get him on it.
Ooh.
And then it was just so beautiful to see like the pieces being put together and how it just came to life. And I was just in the studio with him at 10 a.m.
What? When is that dropping?
That I want to drop it top of the year, you know, fresh, strong, because it's such a dope record. And what I love about it is that it's a drill kind of vibe. So it brings that East Coast, or even UK, it brings that kind of like different sound that's not really his style, but the way that he sings on it, it just meshes perfectly.
Wow.
Like, it's life-changing.
Legendary.
Yes.
Well, I can't wait for that one.
Yeah.
You know, so back to like your writing, you know, I hear so many times I'm listening and there's like a lot of pain, a lot of realness when it comes to, obviously it's coming from a real place.
Yes.
And so if there's somebody listening right now and they're like, man, you know what, I'm stuck, you know, I want to be able to, you know, I don't know, express my feelings, but I'm having trouble putting it to the pen. What's your advice on that?
Well, first and foremost, you know your truth. Don't let anybody make you question that. You know what you experienced, and that's enough. You don't need validation from anybody, not even that person, that closure. You don't need that, you know. And don't be so hard on yourself, you know, especially in trying to find ways to let that emotion out. If you can't express it on pen and pad, that's okay. There's little things that you can do even just by going for a walk. You know, just doing self-care, like whether it's doing your nails or just doing things that focus on you and benefit you in the long run. You know, and little by little, when you learn about yourself more, you become more aware of certain things, you know, whether it's what to look out for, you know, or just even breaking your own cycles. Because at the end of the day, we all are trying to break from these generational cycles.
Right.
So as long as you take that time and be really patient with yourself, you know, the same love that you give somebody, you know, the same patience and grace that you give somebody else, give that to yourself.
Woo!
So
Preach, preach. All right, I want to get into this new single. If you'll go ahead and introduce it for us. Tell us your name, what the single is, and that we're here on the Late Night Hustle, 97 on the Box.
What's good? This is Anna Mvze. You are now listening to my new single, Wish You Really Would, on the Late Night Hustle, 97 on the Box with Jessica G's. Let's get it.
Compete, but he choose me. Hang on, baby, try not to lose me. I want your face in my. Make me shoot out like a Uzi. They watching my moves like a movie. They thirsty, yeah, I know I'm juicy. She not a fan, she a groupie. Out of my way, girl, excuse me. Cause I cannot fuck with you lame. Type of that don't got no ambition. Type that always want attention. Type that always wanna mention. I cannot mix up my feelings with business. I play the game like it's fitness. Problema no quieres conmigo. You talking could take it marido. Te lo juro, no te necesito. I don't need you ni un poquitito. You fuck with me and you finito. I got the juice and sofrito. Run it up like it's a lap. Say you ballin', it's a cat. Sitting pretty, sippin' yak. I know you put on an act. Say, ooh, I do what I want cause I could. Do what I want cause I could. Money on time and you good. My name out your mouth and you good.
Oh, yeah, Anna Mvze. I wish you really would.
Yes.
I wish I would. Oh my God, man. If you're just joining us right now, we are talking with Anna Mvze here on the Late Night Hustle. Where can everybody find you right now?
You can follow me absolutely everywhere. It's all the same at Anna Mvze. That's Anna with 2 N's, Mvze.
ANNAMVZE. So pretty much it's Anna Mvze, but the V's upside down. It's just fine. The MVZE. I'm gonna be posting it on our socials as well. So make sure that you're following her. Now this is the Late Night Hustle, Anna Mvze, and I always like to give some game. You know, there's a lot of people out here hustling. Some people are working their factory jobs right now. Whatever jobs they got right now, they're listening to this radio show. And they're like, man, I still got big dreams. I still want to make something happen, especially here in H-Town. What is your advice to them?
My advice is that if you don't believe it, nobody else will either. So it starts there, you know, and consistency is key. You know, it could be something as small. It don't matter. A win is a win. So believe in yourself. Keep moving.
And when's the next time we can catch you doing a live show? When can we pull up to get this energy? Because this song right here is a banger. Wish you really would. So, like, where can we watch this live?
Well, I actually just came off of your show, the Women's Empowerment, and that was amazing. So thank you for having me.
Yes.
As far as the next show, I'm looking into it, to be honest. I just came off of a HBCU tour back home.
Yeah, let's talk about that real quick. So
yeah.
How many HBCUs did you hit?
I think it was 4 in total. Yeah, it was about 4. We hit Howard University,
wow,
Morgan State, Delaware State, and Bowie University.
Whoa.
Yeah.
What was that energy like with all of them?
Oh, it was crazy. It was packed. I was not expecting so much love.
Yeah.
You know, they were jamming with me, dancing, and by the end of the tour, people already started knowing the lyrics to my new single, Wish You Really Would.
Nice.
And it wasn't even out yet at that time. So that was beautiful, honestly.
Yeah,
they showed a lot of love. So
I love it, man. You're crossing a lot of different borders. You're opening doors. You're doing a lot of things for women out here. And I really appreciate you. And thank you so much for putting on for Latinas out here.
Got to.
And so, man, we'd love to have you back as soon as you got that single with Frankie J.
Yes.
Hope y'all come in here, promote it. But I wish you lots of love and more success. Anna Mvze. One more time, where can they find you?
You can follow me everywhere at Anna Mvze. That's Anna with 2 N's, Mvze.
Mvze. Follow this girl. Show some love. It is the Late Night Hustle here on 97.9 The Box.